Whew. Alright. January 8, 1:21 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 1. Hello there, everybody. I'm back. It's about 92 AK Nightmare. Let's beat up Tigray.
So we're finally going to see the tiger on the stand. We've almost got this case won now, Nick.
I wish I could agree.
Huh?
When I cross-examined Mr. Armstrong just now, he said he was just doing what the tiger told him to do. But Godo picked up on it, remember? He pointed out that without proof, we don't know if what he testified is the truth.
You mean you think Mr. Armstrong was lying?
I don't know, but if that's the line the prosecution takes, we could be in trouble. I get the feeling that we don't have the case-making evidence we're going to need. Hey, pal! Yo! Detective Gumshoe!
What are you so jumping about, Detective? Your hair's standing on end.
Hey, that's the pot calling the kettle black, little Miss Top Knot.
It's not a top knot!
Never mind about the hair, just calm down, alright? I can't stand still when I don't have a job to do. I kinda get wound up. No kidding. You gotta have something you need me to do, pal. Anything! He desperately wants to help. Well, hey, I'm gonna take a jog back down to the precinct. I could get some prints analyzed for you if you've got an hour. An hour? The trial will have reconvened by then.
But Nick, we still don't have a really decisive piece of evidence, right?
True. Without some kind of trump card to pull out of the bag, we're really stuck. You said you could get some fingerprint analysis done in an hour. You bet! In that case, would you mind checking the prints on this for me?
Wait, what?
Oh shit, I have to think about this. It's been a day since I picked up recording, so I have to think about what I have to... Oh boy, okay, what? Let's see. Would these work? No. Oh, right. Proof that somebody took the bottle. Because this thing hasn't, unidentified fingerprints. Yeah. If you're going back to the station anyway, could you find out whose prints are on this? Oh, hey. That's a small bottle I gave back to you this morning, right? Yeah. I think it's time we solve the last mystery of who the prints on it belong to. Sure thing, pal. Actually, that's been gnawing at me too. All right, go for it, man. Okay, I'll get this off to the lab right away. Just make sure you don't lose the case before I get back. Don't worry, I'm a little under the weather, but I got this. This is pretty much the final showdown, I guess.
It's time to separate the phonies from the real guys.
Whew, boy. 1:56 p.m. District Court Room number 4. That is an oddly specific time, but... Court will now reconvene. Mr. Godo, did you find this Furio Tigre?
I even tamed him for you. It was a 3-cup job, no problem.
Tamed him? The guy's name may be Furio Tigre, but come on!
He's pretty lively. Be careful, he still bites.
Very well. Please show Mr. Tigre to the stand. Sup, bitch. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Ah! Don't hide under the table, Maya! Unless there's room for me down there, too. Would you mind?
What'd you say to me?
Nothing, I didn't say nothing, honest. Who could have guessed that fear would induce a bad Brooklyn accent in the judge? I missed an opportunity to do that.
I got business to take care of, you hear me? So who the hell called me into this hole?
Was it you, Spiky?
No, of course not. It was the Your Honor? Oh dear, I seem to have dropped my pen. Where is it? Don't mind me, just carry on with the proceedings as normal. That's it. We're doomed.
Maybe you didn't hear me. I said, who the hell was it that called me in here?
There's no need to shout. We can all hear you.
What'd you say?
There's no point struggling. You're caught in a snare. The relentless snare of the law. And I'm the one that hauled you in.
Too cool.
Don't let him get the better of you, Nick.
Let's start with the basics. You know about the incident in question, correct?
Incident? I don't know nothing about no stinking incident, masked boy.
You mean you didn't attend the previous trial of Maggie Bird?
Maggie who? That got more important things to do than watch courtroom dramas.
Of course. Well, perhaps you could give us your testimony then. Please tell us about what you did on the day of the murder. I'm hiding.
Phoenix Wright. You're the one who set this up, didn't you? You're gonna regret the day you ruffled the tiger's fur. You hear what I'm saying?
Maybe I should have brought a diaper with me today.
Get a grip, Nick.
Is everybody just hiding?
I don't know nothing about no murder. I was tied up with business in December last year, spent all of my time in my office. I got whales lined up to borrow cash from tender lender every single day. You just want to check my alibi? Just ask Violetta.
Oh. Trying to use her. At last I found my pen. Very well then, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. What is it, please? What is it? You're shouting out like that.
I know the kind of games that guy in the blue plays. That lowlife ain't no lawyer. He just punches away at stupid details till he wins.
Lowlife? Me?
Listen up, Smarty. Every time you ask me something ding that doesn't relate to this case, I'm gonna bill you $50,000, and you's gonna borrow the cash from me.
That's one loan contract I refuse to sign. Oh. Let me guess. Of course. I've already got a good idea of what this is going to be one of those scenarios. It seems like they're starting to sprinkle those in a lot more frequently, so where basically if you press the wrong thing, you're going to get penalized. So, you know what? I'm going to examine everything he says this time. Don't press anything. And I'm going to try. I'm probably going to have to save scum here. But I'm going to try my best to press the correct thing.
And don't think it ain't gonna hurt when you tangle with the tiger.
Okay. I love a good spectator sport.
Dude, Justin, that's really not...
This witness is... How can I put it? A hungry tiger roaming the urban jungle. Get on his bad side and he'll bite everyone's heads off. Yours too.
Very well. I have no choice but to impose a penalty system here. Fucking knew it.
You's better be listening. I said I got business to take care of. Big business. If I don't split now, I ain't gonna catch my bus.
The court will impose a penalty for any irrelevant pressing of witness testimony. Fucking called it. Even though it's stating it right here, but... Okay.
Keep that in mind as you begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor.
You can do it, Nick.
Come out from under there already, would you, Maya? Okay, I have to be extremely careful. Okay. Definitely not that one. That was in December last year. Spent all my time in my office. Not that I. Whales lined up. Not that one. Definitely not that one. This one seems accurate. Are you sure about that? We're talking about 1 month ago, you know.
You see these teeth? That's how sharp my secretary is.
Sharp? Is he talking about Viola Cadaverini?
She writes everything in my scheduler. December, mainly in the office. That's what it says, so that's where I was.
That seems like a rather, sketchy schedule.
Well, there he goes again. What the tiger did all December isn't the issue. What's important is what he was doing on the day of the murder. So now what? Don't I have a piece of it? Wait, hold on. Something that... Yeah, hold on. Where is it? There it is. There's a contradiction right there. Meet with the tiger. Press harder. Mr. Tigre!
What use one?
If you wouldn't mind going into a bit more detail.
Objection! This is a dead-end trite, and you know it. Remember the rules.
No, this is important. No! It's essential that we establish the witness's alibi accurately. I agree! The victim was killed on December 3rd. Were you in the office that day too?
Maybe yous ain't listening. Of course I was. I never set foot outside. I had meetings all day with a bunch of cats wanting to do business with me. I ain't never seen that young kid before.
I do believe the witness's last name is important. Mr. Godo, if you could please.
Mr. Tigre, the court asks that you add that last statement to your testimony.
Don't let animal beat you. Be a man, Your Honor, and ask him yourself.
The day you was talking about, I was in the office too. I never saw that kid before.
Fuck off. That is a lie.
Objection!
Mr. Tigre, you claim you didn't know Mr. Glenn Elg. But it appears that Mr. Elg knew you.
What?
Mr. Elg left this little note on his calendar. Meet with the tiger. And the date? December 3rd.
December 3rd? That's the day of the murder.
So, Mr. Tigre, I submit that you did indeed know one Mr. Glenn Elg. Because on the very day of the incident, you met with him.
Not bad. You was actually not bad.
Sorry?
I was just messing with you to see how good you were.
Did you hear that, Nick? He said you're not bad. That's one compliment I can do without. Plus, he's lying through his teeth.
Witness, please remember that you're under oath. Lies will not be tolerated.
Hey, fuck you, man.
Okay.
You call me a liar? Is that what you're doing?
Apparently, the judge needs a Scooby snack to get over his fear. So you're saying that your claim to have never seen that kid before is the truth?
I said I'm dead serious. You's better believe that's the truth.
Then I'd say that gives me time to enjoy another cup of pure black magic. That is, while you testify for the court again, Mr. Tigre.
Oh, yes, would you mind indulging the court witness?
He never actually met the victim? That's gotta be a lie right there. Well, for a fact, we know that he went to Tribulations because what did we find on the floor? Tribulations matches. I know this. It's time I nailed this guy. Okay, first, let's see what his testimony is. If he states somewhere along the lines that he was never at Tribulation, then I know what to do.
I ain't no liar. I never met Glen Elk. There was some lame guy with that name, though. Wanted to borrow cash from me. I set up a meeting with the guy at my office, Tenderlander. I waited around for him, but he ain't ever showed up. I ain't never ever been to that Tribulation joint, has he?
Am I clairvoyant today? I do believe I'm good here. I see.
That all seems perfectly logical.
Now here's the question. Do I still have the penalty system? I'm kind of wondering.
You had arranged to meet with the victim, but he didn't show.
I've heard it's pretty hard to keep appointments when you're dead.
Very well. You may begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor.
Didn't I tell you I got a big deal going down today? I ain't gonna make my bus now. I'm gonna have to take the express train. That bill's going straight to you, right? Ugh.
Okay. I'm going in this thinking the penalty system is going to be, like, put in place until it says otherwise. So I have to be extremely careful here. Okay, so I already know what to do here. I've already got the piece of evidence that'll counter what he says. Which statement was it? Maybe that one. The air show. I ain't never been to that Tribulation joint. Again, I'm tackling this with the theory right now that the penalty system is going to be in place until it says, like, otherwise. Also, because I want to tackle this as perfectly as I can, so I don't screw up. Actually, I have an idea. Okay. And yet, your name was written on the victim's calendar.
Get that horse calendar out of my face! I'm the tiger, not a lame horse, you porcupine! Tigers like me eat horses like that for breakfast.
No, witnesses are permitted to eat evidence. Not that they ever would. Well, there was a case once where a young lad ate...
Judge? Anyway, if you had never met the victim before, how do you explain this note he left? Oh, I didn't get punished. Is the penalty system gone? Okay, good. That's very strange. According to the manager of the firm where the victim worked, December 3rd was the date he had to repay his loan. He wasn't due to discuss borrowing money, but repaying what he owed.
Oh yeah. Maybe you was right. Whatever it was going down at the beginning of December.
So you did meet Glenn at Mr. Elk then?
Hey, Wright. Yous might want to call your jets a sec.
So your meeting wasn't supposed to be at Tribulation then?
Why would I want to go to a dump like that? If I want to talk with my clients, I got an office decked out for the job. I got the best punching bag yous ever saw in there.
Not exactly a professional office you've got there, you know? So, you're in your office on the day in question. He didn't show up.
Huh. What do you think, Wright? Let's see. How does a dead man get from a French restaurant to a loan shark's office?
And you yourself didn't you didn't go to Tribulation?
What are you trying to pin on me? Why don't you come down to my office? We can chat about this thing my way, yeah? I got the best punching bag yous ever saw, man.
No need. I'm good, thanks.
Listen up. I ain't got nothing more to say except this.
Not even once.
Not even once. I was in my office the day that went down. I didn't put no poison in no kid's coffee, capiche?
Do you think he really didn't meet Glen Elg?
Not likely. Because I'm convinced this guy is behind the whole thing.
So you mean that whole testimony you just gave was a lie?
Well, of course. So we can't afford to give him more time to think of ways to plug the leaks in it. I've got to nail him while I still can. Okay, so I was safe. Okay. I already know what to do here. I have proof that you were.
Objection!
Mr. Tigre, is there something you'd like to tell the court about these matches?
Matches? What you was talking about?
We found them in your office at Tenderlender. They're from that restaurant. If you've really never been to Tribulations before, what was a book of the restaurant's matches doing on your desk?
You's been snooping around in my stuff now too, wise guy? What are ya, my ball and chain? Ain't no broad controlling me.
Oh my lord. Order, order. Well, witness, I think it's time you start telling us the truth, don't you?
I'm sorry, forgive me.
I ain't no pussycat. I don't go back on what I said. But okay, I was at the joint that day.
What?
But listen good, alright. I might have been there, but I still never met the kid.
Well. Looks like an order just came in for another testimony.
I'm this close to proving it was him. He did meet Glen Elg that day. And he did put poison in his coffee. He must have. Okay. Alright, here we go.
I was supposed to meet with the kid at the restaurant that afternoon. When I opened the door to the joint, I saw one ugly scene. The guy was laid out over the table, stiff as concrete. I figured if the place was not already, it was gonna be. So I split. I heard the cop sirens on my way out and I went straight back to my office.
Uh-huh. I see. You didn't actually meet with him in the end, then? Well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please.
Yes, Your Honor.
Hold it! If I wait around here any longer, I ain't gonna make the normal express. No more stupid questions.
Oh God, they're bringing it back.
Huh, no problem. Anytime Troy presses you on something irrelevant, I'll see he pays a penalty.
Mr. Goto, that's my job.
Your job is to slam that little hammer of yours and call a guilty verdict.
So do it!
Yes, sir.
The special express ain't cheap, right? Just so yous know, since yous paying.
Oh, man, doesn't the rule of law mean anything around here? It's like friggin' Phoenix is the only normal guy around a hodgepodge of crazy people. Okay. Penalty system's back. Okay, so it's going to notify me whenever it's time to bring in the penalty system. This is an interesting way of tackling this, though. Okay. I gotta think about this. The guy was laid out over the table, stiff as concrete. I opened the door to the joint. I saw him. So, he's placing himself at the opening to the restaurant. Hold on a minute. I'm gonna look at the floor plans here again. Okay, so there he is at the front of the door. Oh! Well, if we're thinking about this logically here, that's not possible. The door is over in the upper right-hand corner over there. And there's a wall. There's a partition. He wouldn't be able to see them. He wouldn't be able to see the body from that angle. Unless he actively stepped fully inside the restaurant and looked over to his right. In that case, I saw one. That is a lie right there.
Objection!
You're something of a loan collecting pro, aren't you, Mr. Tigray?
No one escapes the tiger's clutches.
Well, I'm something of a lie detecting pro. And no one escapes the Phoenix's clutches. I think it's time we got something straight.
What's this, Trite? A new line of irrelevant questioning.
These are the floor plans of the crime scene. You say you were standing at the entrance, Mr. Tigray? From there, your field of vision would have covered an area something like this.
Well, indeed, the witness would have had a clear view of the victim's seat.
Isn't that what I just said? I saw the back of the kid's head.
Unfortunately for you, that is not possible. If the court would think back, you'll remember that between each of the tables is a tall partition.
Why, that's true.
Now, look at the plans again. The truth is painfully obvious. From the entrance, the field of vision of any customer walking in ends here. So, from the entrance of Tribulations, you couldn't have seen the victim's seat. But you did see the victim that day because you met with him.
Objection! Wrong! Have you forgotten the old man's testimony yesterday? The victim was alone at his table.
Objection!
But the defense just proved that point to be moot. The victim, witnessed by Mr. Kudo, was not Glen Elg, but a fake.
What?
In order to have Mr. Kudo falsely testify, the real killer posed as the victim he had just killed and acted out a charade. That'll do!
This trial has gone on long enough without the obvious question being answered. Who exactly was this real killer who impersonated the victim? Oh, you say the killer murdered Glen Elg, and then impersonated his victim in a performance of Victor Kudo. In that case, Mr. Wright, reveal the identity of this criminal to the court.
Oh. So it has to be... Somebody that pretended to be him. Well, we know right off the bat it can't be her. The only person that might potentially be able to pretend to be him would be... well, Tigray. Maybe? Actually, yeah, that could probably work. I mean, they're the only two people out here that could potentially do it. So...
Take that!
Obviously, the killer is Furio Tigray. No one else could have done it.
What? Where the witness?
Now that's cute. You think you can pin this on the tiger? Maybe you don't understand. The tiger is king of the jungle, so I dare you to say it again. Come on, you got the guts.
You can't threaten me, Mr. Tigray. There's the defense. Go ahead and tell the witness, Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright!
Joke's on you, I'm already hiding.
Sounds to me like it must be you, old man. You've got guts, I'll give you that.
Mr. Wright, do not leave me to handle this alone.
You left me.
Perhaps I can end this embarrassment.
Mr. Godo.
Let's just go back over Mr. Kudo's testimony one more time. The old man didn't see just the victim. Oh, no, no, no.
The servant girl brought him Javagino, but she put something in it. There's no question about it. She's very conspicuously put some white powder in there.
Was the victim he saw the real victim or not? That doesn't matter. The fact remains he saw the accused put the poison into the coffee.
Well, yes, it was the waitress who poisoned the coffee.
No! Very impressive, Mr. Godo. waiting for my absence to launch her attack.
I'm liking these theatrics. Found your pen at last, Wright.
Well, it was in my pocket. But anyway, Mr. Kudo witnessed two people that day. He saw the victim, the supposed Mr. Glenelg, and the waitress from behind. Well, yes, your point, Mr. Wright. I think the conclusion is obvious. If this Glenelg was really the killer in disguise, then surely it's possible the waitress was also part of the show.
What? You mean the waitress was an imposter as well?
The defendant, Mrs. Bird, fell unconscious immediately after the incident. And someone used her fainting to hatch an elaborate plan to pin the murder on her.
Who on earth was it? Who was this waitress that Mr. Kudo witnessed?
I hate to bring this poor girl up, but it was Viola.
Take that! Who is this woman?
Her name is Viola Cadaverini. She's an employee of Tenderlander.
You's making a big mistake. Do you know who Violetta's grandfather is? You better be going home in an armored truck tonight if you know what I mean.
Stop shaking, Nick. Where was I? Yes, the defendant, Miss Bird, has stated the following. Well, when I took the coffee over to the victim's table, it's true that there was another customer in the restaurant. She was sort of creepy, and she had a kind of cackling laugh. There are just too many contradictions in this case. The second man at the victim's table, who nobody but Miss Bird seems to have seen. The earpiece worn by the victim in his left ear when that eardrum was ruptured. And the radio show he was supposedly listening to half an hour after it was over. There's only one logical explanation that clears up all of these contradictions. The whole incident took place twice. Once for real, and once for show. And Mr. Furio Tigre, the only person who could have committed the crime, is you.
Witness, what have you got to say?
That's cute.
Sorry?
You's alright. I could do with a guy like you around.
What do you mean? Is he gonna try to hire him?
Okay, I'm in on this game. I'm gonna have to charter a jet to get me to my meeting now. I'm gonna give you one more thing to think about before I go.
Something to think about.
You's got it all wrapped up nice, alright? But you's missed out one real important thing.
But that can't be!
I was in the joint that day and I met that kid too. But I couldn't have poisoned him, he was here.
What? Do you really expect us to believe you now, Mr. Tigre?
Huh. What a troublemaker.
Troublemaker?
Looks like we're going to need another one for the road.
Oh boy.
One more steaming cup of hot testimony.
Indeed, witness, you will explain yourself to the court. I will give you one more chance to testify. What happened that day at Tribulations between yourself and the victim? Oh boy. Here we go!
Yeah, I loaned out cash, about $100,000. That day we was due to have a little chat. The kid hit his payback date, you see. So anyway, he tells me he's got no way to pay up. I'm about to flatten the guy when he starts screaming. Yes, I won! $500,000! He got lucky, you know. Real lucky. If that waitress hadn't done what she'd done, everything would have been over.
You fucker.
Now, I see that the principal amount you loaned to Mr. Elk was about $50,000.
Yeah, well, you's got the vig to take into account. Interest builds up fast, you know.
That's faster than fast. $100,000 is twice his principal. A bit fucking ridiculous, don't you think?
And the repayment deadline was December 3rd, the day of the incident in question.
Yeah, he was one lucky kid. He got that $500,000 just in time. So I ain't have no reason to kill the kid. And if I ain't got no motive, you ain't got no case.
His motive? He has to have one, but what is it? Okay, so we gotta figure out what his motive is. Okay. No penalty system in place, so I think I can do this. Did he have any way of paying the loan back?
The fool was a gambler. He said he couldn't give it up till he landed a big win. So I agreed to help him.
Help him? You?
I kept hitting him with ideas for ways he could get a big win. But the guy kept losing.
So you were helping him for his sake, or yours?
Win through compromise. Yous help me, I help yous. What's the difference, huh?
I don't believe this.
Nick, would anyone really ever loan money to someone they thought was unreliable? Like, for example, if it were you, I'd only loan you $5 max.
Ouch. That fucking hurts. Well, loans work... I've only ever had to do like one loan, and you needed to have a good credit score, but I had to rely on my parents to get that loan. By the way, loan's been paid off for a few years now, so that's a good thing. But, yeah, there's a system in place to where if you're going for a certain loan, you have to have a certain sort of history to where the individual or bank giving you a loan has an actual, like, hope that the money is going to be paid back. You know? So, that's why loan sharks are just kind of like,
Nah, you pay me back or else.
thanks a lot, Maya. So, how much were you expecting him to pay you back on that day?
What do you think? The whole package, $100,000 including interest.
That's a real heavyweight punch.
Once a client misses a repayment, you call the whole loan in. You want to make it in my world, that's all you've got to know.
And how many times has Mr. Elk been late with his repayments?
Once.
And how much was he supposed to pay back every month?
$50.
Sounded like Mr. Alec was in a real sticky spot.
Wait, really? He only had to pay $50 a month? That's a standard payment on a freaking streaming service. Yeah, $50 a month, he never paid that huge loan off. Oh, fair enough. Yeah, that's true. I mean, with my job, I would at least make it like maybe $100 or $200 a month, because I could potentially afford it, but... but goddamn, that would still take forever to pay off. How much did he have left on his debt?
You wanted round figures? About $100,000.
That's the whole amount. We're talking about a guy who had 58 cents in his wallet.
What? You was telling me he wasn't even gonna pay for the coffee?
Well, he certainly seems to have been a brave man, this Mr. Elk.
That guy was smooth, I tell you, real smooth. You'll have your money in less than 5 minutes. That's what he says to me. The guy then calls me the Tender Tiger. He was skating on thin ice with me.
Jesus. Cocky. Was that because he...
The guy won the lottery. Was his last chance at a big win.
And you can confirm that this is the ticket in question.
That's it.
The Millionaire Radio Show starts at 1:30 p.m. and runs for 10 minutes. That fixes the time you two met with some accuracy.
And the whole scene was acted out again 30 minutes later. All so that Mr. Kudo would see it.
I can still see the kid's face now. I ain't never gonna forget it.
Was there anyone else in the restaurant at the time?
I don't remember.
If there was no one there, I'll wear that ridiculous tiger shirt for a month. Mr. Armstrong, Maggie, and if I'm right, Viola Cadaverini were all there at that time.
So the victim had intended to repay you from his lottery winnings from the beginning?
Well, seems that way to me.
But you wouldn't normally expect to win the lottery, would you?
Huh. The undying belief that your next roll will end the worst losing streak you ever had. That's what defines a true gambler.
It makes it sound so cool.
Don't be tempted, Nick. You haven't got the willpower for it.
All I know is the kid took a shot, and he got lucky in the end.
Fun fact, the only amount of money that I think I've actually won that was the highest amount of money that I've ever won by doing lottery tickets, 50 bucks. I believe that is, if memory serves, that is probably the only largest amount I have ever won off a scratch-off lottery ticket. That was years ago. Nowadays, you can only win maybe $1 or $2, 10 if you're lucky. And that's why lottery tickets are a scam. Thank you for joining my TED Talk. TED Talk with Sova. We're good. Don't do drugs. The waitress, you mean? No, the drugs. Oh, sorry.
The girl with the glasses in the defendant's chair? Who else could I mean? If she hadn't gotten away, things would have been bada bing, bada boom, over and done with.
Maybe I should push a little on this. Ask about what Maggie did. Ask how things would have... That's a very odd question, isn't it? Actually, my gut is telling me to go with this... I'm gonna save anyway. My gut is telling me to go with this question, because it seems a bit out there. What do you mean things would have been over and done with?
Are yous all there or what? I'm talking about the cash. I was there to get my 100K bucks back. That's all. I'm a businessman. It was all coming together before that waitress got in the way.
As far as I can tell from the witness's testimony, other than recouping his loan, Mr. Tigre had no motive for killing the victim. Witness, you will amend your testimony to reflect what you just said.
The tiger's motive, huh?
I was after the 100K. I didn't have no other reason to kill the guy.
I didn't have no other reason to kill the guy. Okay. What stuff do I have here that's connected to him? That's definitely...
I did it because he bashed up my scooter. He made fun of it because it was pink. That's all his fault, so I'm gonna wreck him. No, that's why. Yeah, that's totally because of the scooter, that's why.
Let's see, what else do we have here? Paper badge! MC Bomber. Actually, wait a minute. He did have this in his office. That could technically be a motive. No, motive. No, it needs to be a motive. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. This might actually be the case. He needed the money to help pay for the additional medical papers because, you know, cadaverinis. Maybe that could be the motive. That would be the motive for him wanting that money.
Objection!
So you just intended to get back the $100,000 Mr. L owed you, correct?
I loaned the guy the cash, so that's my right.
Unfortunately for Mr. Elg, $100,000 wasn't enough to cover it, was it?
Huh?
About 6 months ago, you were involved in a traffic accident, weren't you? An accident involving a car and a scooter, in which a young woman was injured. She was taken to the hospital where she underwent surgery.
Where did you get all of this info?
These medical papers document the treatment of the young woman in question. According to these, her operation cost $1 million. Payment for these expenses was due in December of last year, and was paid in full.
What? $1 million? A preposterous sum. Someone should sue those HMOs.
No one would pay a bill like that. If the medical association got wind of it, the hospital would end up as dead as a morgue.
But Mr. Tigre had no choice but to pay, because his very life depended on it. Oh, that hurt a lot.
Order, I say. You say his life depend on Mr. Wright?
Indeed it did, simply because the injured woman was none other than Viola Cadaverini.
Did you say Cadaverini?
Bruto Cadaverini, mob boss in charge of all underworld activities in the city, and doting grandfather to his precious Violetta, also known as Viola Cadaverini. Your life was in danger unless you paid compensation to the boss, correct? It makes sense. You were desperate to acquire that $1 million Cadaverini demanded of you. So desperate, in fact, that you decided to sacrifice Glen Elg's life to pay your debt.
Order! What do you say to that, witness?
Objection! It's a nice little fairy tale, Trite. But even if the witness did need $1 million, that doesn't tie him to Mr. Elg's murder. Mr. Elg only owed him $100,000 and had no hope of repaying it anyway.
Yeah, that guy wasn't worth my spit.
I don't think so. In fact, the opposite is true.
The opposite?
Lending money with no hope of ever seeing repayment would normally be bad for business. But in this case, the very fact that Glen Elg had no way to repay the money is crucial.
What? Do you know where you're going with this, Nick? MC Bomber?
You gotta think outside the box, Maya.
Outside the box?
It's very straightforward. Mr. Tigre wasn't after the $100,000 at all.
It seems you have a logical conclusion for this theory, Mr. Wright. Would you care to share it with us? Yes. What exactly was Mr. Tigre after?
Think about it. He has a very powerful computer virus. Also, potentially worth millions of dollars. The amount of ransom that he could perform with this.
Take that!
Think about the money he could get from that. Glen Elg was a programmer, a highly skilled programmer. That skill was the collateral Mr. Elg put up in order to borrow the money.
Care to explain how skill can be used as collateral to secure a loan, Trite?
He had the skill to create a computer virus, and so he did. A virus known as MC Bomber.
A computer virus? What does one of those do?
A computer virus is a program that wreaks havoc on the insides of a computer.
A computer? What does one of those do?
I guess the beard isn't the only part of his honor that is from the Stone Age. Dumbass doesn't even know what a computer is! I'll explain it to you later, Your Honor. Right now, this is the important point. A virus like MC Bomber would be worth several $1 million on the black market. Mr. Tigre, you couldn't have cared less about the $100,000. Isn't that right? All you cared about was one thing: the virus. On the day of the murder, Mr. Tigre's sole intention was to get his hands on this CD. Glen Elg had no way of paying back the $100,000, and Mr. Tigre knew it. But then a miracle happened. The kind that Mr. Tigre would prefer to say never happened, but he can't, and neither can I. The lottery win. Exactly. At the 11th hour, Mr. Elk won $500,000 on the lottery, which left Mr. Tigre with no way of getting his hands on the all-important CD. At least, no legitimate way. So, he resorted to illegitimate means.
That's crazy.
He murdered Glen Elk and then made his next move, to frame Maggie Bird for the crime. Mr. Tigre posed as Glen Elk, while Viola Cadaverini played the role of Miss Bird. And then they reenacted the whole thing in order to establish a witness. The witness being the one we all heard testify yesterday, Mr. Victor Kudo.
Objection! Like I said, Trent, that's crazy. No one could pull off a stunt like that. For starters, there's no way the chef could have been kept in the dark about it.
Objection!
But Mr. Armstrong was in on it from the very beginning. Have you forgotten already, Mr. Godo? Mr. Armstrong owed the witness money too. $500,000, in fact. He had no choice but to go along with Mr. Tigre's plan. What's the matter, Tigre? Silent.
Order! Order! Salter, I'll clear the
Yous put on a good show, Spiky. If yous want to stay alive in the loan shark business, you gotta be careful. You saying I dressed up like that kid, create a witness, and frame someone? If I did something crazy like that, I'd leave a trail as bright as my shoe. I ain't dumb enough to do something sloppy like that.
Then why did you pretend to be me? I agree.
Wait, you do? Oh damn, I wasn't expecting that.
Despite your appearance, you are very careful. That's why you took one more precaution. One more trick to make sure Miss Bird had no way out.
What? Another one, Mr. Wright?
He pretended to be me so that she would get locked up.
Interesting. Why don't you fill us all in, Trite? What was this trick you say Mr. Tigre performed to frame the accused?
This?
Take that!
Got myself a nice cup of tea here. What on earth is that?
What an insult to think anyone could be fooled by such a childish imitation.
Judge, you fell for it. Consider yourself insulted, Your Honor. Mr. Tigre, you didn't just pose as the victim on the day in question. A month ago in this very court, you posed as me.
What? That's
the truth.
But the witness looks nothing like you, Mr. Wright. The hair. Although, now that I think about it, it was you, wasn't it? No doubt it was you, standing in here this very court a mere month ago. The Phoenix Wright who put up the most disreputable, shabby defense I'd ever seen.
Objection! Can you prove that, Graps? Prove the attorney who represented the accused here a month ago was this man. Are you prepared to take the stand and testify that it was him?
Hey. Forget about it. Yeah?
What?
I wouldn't do something like that. Not me. You made a mistake, right? It was someone else.
Objection!
Have you no pride, sir?
Objection! This isn't a matter of pride. In case you didn't know, Wright, here in court, we deal with people's lives.
Mr. Godo is right.
Your Honor!
Speaking for myself, I'm absolutely convinced. The attorney in question was the witness standing before me now. However, I preside over this court as the judge, with the vested power to hand down a verdict. Someone in my position cannot be swayed by a memory without evidence to support it.
But, what?
If the defense has no further evidence, the court will now excuse the witness. The circumstances surrounding Mr. Tigre are dubious for sure, but not conclusive.
But we've come so far.
Is this the part where Gumshoe pops in because we need his stuff right now? Please tell me he got the fingerprints tested.
You say he impersonated Glen Elg. You say he impersonated you. But none of that adds up to a murder charge. You don't have a shred of evidence that the witness poisoned the victim's coffee.
Huh! Sucks to be you, right? Don't mess with the tiger, you're gonna get mauled, you got it, that.
All we managed to do here was chase him around a bit. I was so close to getting him to admit his own guilt. Huh.
Looks like I won't be needing a refill.
We'll see about that. If I had just one more piece of evidence. One more piece of evidence and maybe I'd get Maggie off the hook.
This witness's cross-examination is over. You're free to go, Mr. Tigre.
Oh! Your Honor. Yes! Gumshoe! Wait! Detective Gumshoe!
Sorry I took so long, pal. I staked everything on this. My badge, the works. So here it is. My heart's counting on this too.
What is it, Detective?
Isn't it obvious, pal? It's the final decisive piece of evidence.
What?
Holy shit,
Gumshoe! Fuck Capcom. Give me the game where he's the main character. Fuck. Give it to me, god damn it. I want this.
Sorry it took so long, pal, but I finally got the results from the lab.
The results?
About the prints, pal, from this medicine bottle.
Oh, so do you know who the prints belong to now?
Do you think I'm some kind of hack detective? Of course I know.
So, tell us. They're the tigers, right? I knew it.
You bet. Clear as crystal all over the bottle. They're Furio Tigre's paw prints, all right.
That's great. We've got him now, Nick.
The medicine bottle.
What's wrong with you? You've hardly said a word since Detective Gumshoe got here. He's laid everything on the line for this, Nick.
I know. Look, I'm sorry, this is kind of hard to say, but it really doesn't make any difference whose prints are on that bottle now. What?
Huh? What? Why not?
What we need to produce at this stage in the trial is irrefutable evidence that the tiger put poison in Glen Elg's coffee. He's already admitted that he met the victim. The fact that his prints are on this bottle, that really doesn't make any difference now. Yes, it does. It proves that he... Why would he have Glen Elg's medicine? Unless he was pretending to be him.
I knew it. Great. No matter how hard I try, I'm never of any use.
No, they're just not thinking outside the box. God damn it. Actually, wait a minute. No. It has to be. Well,
Hey, don't be so hard on yourself.
This is our last chance to help Maggie. And I've been working on some useless piece of evidence the whole time. It's alright. I'm a real loser. It's not breaking the news to me, pal.
Detective Gumshoe? Maggie? You've been working on something for me?
Sorry I let you down, Maggie. I know you didn't do it. And I'm a detective. We're supposed to be able to prove stuff like that. I'm really sorry. I'll get out of your hair now.
Does the Gumshoe wait? He's gone. Isn't there anything we can do now, Nick?
Oh, I don't have the bottle in here yet.
I wish there was. Gumshoe worked so hard to get that evidence. If only there was some way I could use it.
The victim's ear medicine, covered in Furio Tigre's fingerprints. Well, there's some way we can do it, like I said. The fact that it has his fingerprints on it shows that he had access to it. How would he have access to his freaking medicine? Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? I granted you a recess so you could prepare this decisive evidence you discovered.
Yes.
Don't keep us all in suspense, Wright. Show us. Naturally, we can assume it's evidence that will actually stand up in court, can't we?
Think, Phoenix.
Don't let Gumshoe's hard work go to waste.
How much more of my time are you gonna waste? I ain't been to no court before. But you as lawyers should know how to blow things out of proportion.
No doubt, given the nature of the evidence, it will speak for itself. Nevertheless, you will talk us through it, Mr. Wright.
Well, I know I can't prove anything new with this evidence. Really backed into a corner here. But maybe if he thinks he's got me beat, he'll let his guard down a bit. Oh, in that case, I need to change my strategy. What if I present the bottle and try to get him to slip up? He's a bit loose with his tongue sometimes. Quite literally, as you can see right now with this right now. So, what if... Okay, I'm gonna see if I can get him to slip up.
Don't keep us waiting any longer, Mr. Wright. Present this final decisive piece of evidence to the court.
Okay, then.
Take that!
This is the defense's final piece of evidence. Isn't that the victim's... Your Honor? Naturally, the court is already aware of the contents of this bottle. However, interesting new information has come to light. We have clearly identified some fingerprints on it. Fingerprints belonging to you, Mr. Tigre.
What?
But, Mr. Wright, what conclusion are you hoping to draw from this new information? No one in here knows what this bottle contains, except one man. One person in this courtroom should theoretically be. Ah, we gotta make him fuck up.
My prints on that pansy-looking bottle? Is that what you're saying? Well, what the hell's in it anyway?
Okay, if it's good, okay. A phony trial, a phony lawyer, and phony clues. Everything about this case has been phony. Seems like the perfect excuse for some phony Isn't that illegal? Am I about to lie? Phony evidence? Mr. Tigre, this is the decisive piece of evidence that will prove your guilt. Why? Because it contains... Mr. Strong's oils, the victim's ear medicine, potassium...
Oh!
Phony evidence. The truth is that it's got the victim's ear medicine in it, but he doesn't know that. Or does he? Hold up. If I'm going with the correct line of thinking here, what if I lie to get him to spill the beans on what's really in this bottle? I'm pretty sure that's not legal. But fuck it, this is Japanifornia. Let's go. This bottle contains potassium cyanide. Potassium cyanide? The poison used to murder Mr. L, Your Honor. The victim's killer used this very bottle. And on this bottle, Mr. Tigre, we found your fingerprints. Well, how do you explain that?
You'll make a good clown, you know that?
What?
Yous ain't never gonna get this to stick. You just making me laugh now. You think a cheap bluff like that's gonna fool a tiger?
A bluff?
I can see straight through you, Phoenix Wright. That ain't the bottle with the cyanide in it.
No, this is the bottle we found traces of the poison.
Don't mess with the tiger, you're gonna get ripped to shreds. The cyanide bottle was brown and it was made of glass.
Oh my god. I can't believe that fucking worked.
That cheap piece of trash don't look nothing like it.
Ooh.
Oh my god, I can't believe he did that.
Wait, what?
Holy shit.
Got him! At last.
What? Why's everyone gone quiet? I said that
Is this the bottle you're referring to?
Yeah, that's it. That's the bottle the cyanide was in. But yous ain't gonna find my prints on that bottle. Don't let that cozy looking suit fool you people. That Lloyd is playing games. Tell him, Mr. Prosecutor. Tell that guy where to go.
You still haven't figured it out. Don't you realize what you just said?
What I said? What did I just say?
You were summoned to this court for the first time earlier today. If you really had nothing to do with the murder, you shouldn't have known all the little details. For instance, you shouldn't have known what kind of bottle the potassium cyanide was in. But just now, you slipped up in front of every single person in this courtroom. You described the exact bottle used by the killer to hold the poison.
You don't know who you was messing with. I'm the tiger. I control millions of dollars on the black market. You think I'm gonna let some jumped up suit get the better of me?
Sure, the last piece of evidence was phony. But that's just what you deserve. The phony trial with the phony lawyer. It was all played out by you. The biggest phony of all!
Holy shit.
Huh? What's going on?
It looks like a blackout. Well done, Trite.
You look like a heat lamp.
I saved my 17th cup of coffee just for you. Savor it. While you watch the police restrain your prey.
Mr. Wright, you caught a tiger by his toe, but if this one hollers, he won't be let go. Now then, how are things going with Mr. Tigre, Mr. Godo?
He's being arrested on suspicion of the murder of Glen L, Your Honor.
Fortunately for us, we managed to rectify a very grave error. Miss Bird was found guilty in the absence of a genuine defense attorney.
Yes, she was.
And in the absence of genuine evidence. But the tiger made one mistake.
Indeed. He very nearly got away with everything if it wasn't for that one slip of the tongue. Furio Tigre is a truly frightening criminal.
The truly frightening one is that defense attorney over there.
Godo.
Well, I am now in a position to deliver my verdict. This court finds the defendant, Maggie Bird, not guilty.
Good.
That is all. This court is adjourned.
Whew. Gumshoe helped.
Mr. Wright, I'm at a loss for words. Thank you, sir. Congratulations, Maggie. I was so mad when Mr. Wright landed me in all that trouble a month ago. But now I feel like I can forgive him. Hey, that wasn't me, Maggie. That was the tiger. Look, Nick, in the doorway. Detective Gumshoe.
Oh, guess I'll be heading off then. See you, pal.
Wait! Detective Gumshoe.
Yeah. Congratulations, Maggie.
Thanks. Awkward.
Yep.
I knew you were innocent all along.
Why didn't you say that in your testimony then?
Huh? Oh, well, I was... Well, guess I'll be heading off then. See you around.
Wait up, detective! He just ran off.
Maggie, why are you being so hard on him? He busted his butt for you. It's thanks to him that we got the medication bottle. That wasn't even of any use. But it's only because Mr. Wright used it so cleverly. Detective Gumshoe was just running around in circles.
Poor guy. Looks like she still isn't ready to forgive him.
Can't you put in a good word for him, Nick?
Yeah, Maya's right. I should help Gumshoe out. It's clear he needs it. Maggie? You know, Detective Gumshoe's been really worried about you through all of this.
I wanted to believe that, sir. But on that first day of the trial, he practically gave the judge a free pass to lock me up.
He didn't have any choice, Maggie. He's a detective. He has to report the facts.
He doubted me, that's why. He thought I might have done it.
I've got to prove to her that Gumshoe really cares about her. I know. I'll give her a little present to celebrate her freedom. Yep. Oh, whoops.
Take that!
Here you are. A present to celebrate your freedom.
That's...
A present from Detective Gumshoe, made with a ton of love.
He said you lost weight and he was worried about you. Detective Gumshoe. I actually really like weenies, you know?
Maggie, just dig in.
Did you guys hear that? I'm pretty hungry myself, you know.
Yeah, the trial dragged on a bit today, didn't it?
Is it okay if I eat this now?
Maggie, just dig in.
So, how is it, Maggie? It's really good.
I hurt. So the case of phony versus genuine comes to an end. The false allegations surrounding Maggie have all been cleared up. And she ate every last bite. And who knows? Maybe a whole new chapter of her life is about to start. Aww. Episode 3, Recipe for Turnabout. The end.
My boy's back!
Sorry. Oh, God. Okay, I'm definitely looking forward to this. Okay, final thoughts on this particular trial. Let's see, where do I begin? It's kind of upsetting that we didn't get to see much of what the hell is it I'm looking for? Resolution concerning Viola. I mean, sure, she helped cover up the crime, but she inevitably helped out, like, put Tigre behind bars. So that has to count for something, right? Some sort of resolution for her, maybe? I don't know. I'm a little upset we didn't get to see anything about her, but... This episode really made me like Gumshoe even more than I used to. Because goddamn, like, he was really doing his best. And also, let's be fair, his little crush on Maggie is quite cute too. Let's be fair, that is quite cute. Like, he legitimately cares about her, and that's heartwarming. But goddammit, give me a story where he's the main character. I want that. And I'm glad I'm not the only one. Give me a freaking Ace Detective Dick Gumshoe game. I want that. It would be cool to play through his shoes, in my personal opinion. Even if it would be murder on my throat. But anyway, that entire ending right there was very heartwarming. The trial itself was interesting. I'm happy that this time it was, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that it wasn't very apparent that you only get one chance, stuff like that. But this, having this penalty system, yeah, it really had to make me think outside, or really think hard about what I needed to do. Granted, some of the phases, they were pretty easy to spot, like, yeah, this is a pretty obvious thing you need to counter, but you know what I mean. Everybody's fucking stupid for falling for Tigre's impersonation, but you know what? If he's a master of disguise, fuck it. He just sucks at trying to match the voices, that's all. But anyway, actually, either everybody's stupid, or it must have been one of the most convincing disguises, period. Regardless, that's where I'm ending it. If you all like this, be sure to let me know. I'm looking forward to potentially seeing our boy Edgeworth again, and I will see all of you in the next video.